Welcome to Disturbing the Priest. Today I am ranking all the metal songs from the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. King Gizzard is a band I've been following for quite a while now. I got into them when they put out their record Infest the Rat's Nest, which was their attempt at thrash metal. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard started in 2010. They're a neo-psych band from Australia, but they've experimented with so many genres. They have over 25 albums, and they've done neo-psych, spoken word, country, folk music, prog rock, but they've also done heavy metal. They've done thrash metal, they've done doom metal, and I want to come on here and rank every single metal song they ever wrote because I feel like a lot of people who are into this band are more classic rock fans and psych fans, where I have more of a metal background and it's my favorite genre of music. So this gives me an opportunity to talk about their metal stuff and just overall give you my thoughts on their attempt at heavy metal with thrash metal and doom metal and all these different subgenres. But it's really cool. It's just such a cool band, and I wish more bands were this experimental, to be honest. But before we get into the ranking, make sure to like and subscribe and check me out on Patreon too. I have some exclusive content on there. Anyway, let's rank all the metal songs from King Glizzy and the Wizard Lizard. Okay, yes, it was a little difficult to choose which songs I did want to rank here because there's some songs that you can argue are metal, Road Train, Vomit Coffin, but I don't know. For me, in my heart, I feel like these are the truly metal songs they put out instead of just being a prog song that has a heavy riff in it or just a rock song that's a little fast. I just find this to be their metal catalog and the best representation of it. So let's jump into the ranking. All right, the first album I will be talking about is Gumboot Soup here. It's kind of just a mix of different sounds by them. I'm pretty sure it's just an album of songs that didn't fit on any other record, so they just threw it onto this one. The Great Chain of Being is the first track we're talking about here. It's pretty much the first King Gizzard metal song, and I know people will probably argue with me about that, but the main riff is played pretty much throughout the whole song, and they do rely on it a lot. And over time, the riff gets stripped down just to be built back up again. It's really heavy and awesome. And yeah, it's definitely played a little safe for them. And again, it's them kind of like easing into the genre, but I say a really solid song from them. For me, it's going to go in B tier. Does B tier mean it's bad? Not by any means, but compared to some of the other tracks we're going to get into, I think B tier makes a lot of sense for this song. All right, next up, we're talking about KG, which is their second microtonal album. Microtonal music, really cool stuff, but they do dip into doom metal with this record a little bit with a song called The Hungry Wolf of Fate, which you get this really heavy riff. You get that classic doom metal phrasing on this with the heavier section, contrasted by the much quieter, ominous counterline that opens the track. Great wah pedal action here. Just some very solid microtonal doom metal, which I thought I would never say in my life. This is a very solid A-tier song, in my opinion. Next up, we're talking about LW, which is their third microtonal record. And there's a song on this that really does stand out to me called KGLW, which is microtonal sludge metal, which you wouldn't think would work as well as it does here. Just the riffage is so monolithic. The outro of the song really picks up and builds up some speed, some great slow chugging. I love the chorus. Just very solid. I would put this, in my opinion, when it comes to King Gizzard's metal discography, top of A tier. All right, next up, Omnium Gatherum, I know I'm going out of order here, but it's just easier for me to talk about the singles and then full track list after I'm done with talking about the metal singles. It's another compilation record of songs that didn't really fit on any other albums of theirs, so they just threw them onto this one. The Dripping Tap, Gaia, Magenta Mountain, a lot of solid songs on this one. And there's two metal tracks, Predator X and Gaia. All right, let's talk about Predator X, which is one of the metal songs on here. And it's good, not the most interesting songs they ever put out lyrically. Pretty straightforward. I think it's about an aquatic dinosaur, if I have that right. But I don't know. I just find this a little repetitive with the rhythm section. Also, there is a good solo on here, but it's followed by the perihelion riff for no reason at all. I'm not sure if that was just accidental or a reference, but I don't understand the connection with these two songs. The track also, weirdly enough, reminds me of this Metallica song that was like a bonus track called A Bullet Away. You can go check it out. Yeah, not their best when it comes to heavy metal for me. This is a C tier song. All right, now let's talk about the song Gaia. A pretty good song on this record. Awesome intro, and then it goes into this very chuggy section, which Gizzard likes to rely on when it comes to their early metal songs. But yeah, just amazing lyrics as well. Lyrics I can see myself screaming on a rooftop after a night of drinking. Amazing solo by Joey here as well. For me, I'd probably put this bottom of A tier. All right, now that I have all the singles out of the way, let's get into their full-on heavy metal records, starting with Infest, The Rat's Nest. This is a thrash metal concept album, and I love this album quite a lot. It's a little repetitive in some parts, but the production is amazing. The guitar tone is crunchy and crisp. The vocals are great. The production on Rat's Nest is something that I wish more metal bands took note of, because it has this old school feel to it, but it doesn't sound like garbage, if that makes sense. All right, now Planet B is the first track, and we have a very chuggy riff to kick off the song, and it goes into a solo that brings us into the first verse. I love Stu's very gravelly vocal delivery here, and like the throat singing inspired accents that cap off most of the verses. I love this track, but I don't return to it as much because of the repetitiveness of it. There's a lot of parts that are just and that's a problem a lot of this album has, in my opinion, but it's still a great song. It's still a great record. For me, Planet B is bottom of A tier. All right, Mars for the Rich. This takes place in the future. The Earth has gone to hell, so the rich flee to Mars. The song itself seems pretty inspired by Motorhead, but still maintains that King Gizzard identity, which you can hear through all the echo effects. There's a very great bass line in here as well. There is a bit of repetitiveness in that rhythm guitar section, but with that awesome bass line underneath it, I feel like it's enjoyable enough where it doesn't feel repetitive. And there's enough moving parts in this track that keep it interesting. For me, this is the first S tier song we're talking about. Very solid from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. All right, now let's talk about Organ Farmer. Just straight chaos here. I love this song. Some great songwriting. This is where the repetitive chugging, I feel like, really does work, because Organ Farmer, pretty obvious what it's about. And I feel like that chuggy riff almost sounds like you're sawing through bone. That's the impression I get from it, and I feel like it just really makes the song for me. Yeah, the second half, it just goes crazy. A lot of awesome alternative picking patterns. And for me, I'll be honest, this is a song I return to a lot. Really interesting, some great thrash metal. This is top of S for me. I know a lot of people might not agree with me for this one, but for me, definitely an S tier song. All right, Superbug, a song about a superbug, a virus, which did kind of foreshadow COVID since this album came out before it. But yeah, this is the heaviest song on the album. Maybe instrumentally a little simplistic, but there's enough dynamics here to keep it fresh. I really do like the lead work on here. And there's a cool jam section as well, reminding me of early Black Sabbath. For me, this is going to be A tier between Gaia and the Hungry Wolf of Fate. Okay, Venusian 1. This is where the concept of the album really begins to develop, because I feel like side A was them just kind of like establishing the setting, and now the story is becoming linear. The people of Earth are trying to escape the superbug, and by escaping, they're going to build a ship to travel to Venus, where they're going to restart society, and it's pretty good. And it also talks about how humanity is just like doomed to fail, I guess, because it's all about, we're going to go to Venus, we're going to, start a church, we're going to do everything over, and just like kind of repeat mistakes here. And yeah, just awesome. Starting with a solo and some really aggressive, heavy palm muting and alternative picking. I love the pre-chorus riff, and the melody on top of it really reminds me of Metallica. A lot of great echo effects on here as well. Classic hammer-on, down the neck licks. And yeah, for me, this is bottom of S. Yeah, Venusian 1. Great stuff here. Okay, so with Perihelion, Venusian 1 gets sucked into the sun's orbit, and the crew members begin to worship the sun as they die. Very awesome song. Great lyrics here. And yeah, best riff on the album, in my opinion. I love the melody of the chorus. Very catchy, which is followed by the guitar. The end section has some really cool harmonica and heaviness to it. I love this. This is an S tier song. This is going after Mars. It's up there for me. I think one of the best metal songs they ever wrote. All right, Venusian 2. Yeah, so Venusian 1 burned up in the sun's orbit, so they're trying again. It starts out with this riff that seems to be very inspired by the song Bonded by Blood by Exodus, a very thrashy take on their song Road Train as well. Amazing bass line here, some classic Rat's Nest chugginess throughout the song. Again, it's kind of all over this album, a little repetitive because it's just very, very simple chugging. But hey, I think it works on this song. And yeah, this is going to be an A tier song for me. And you know what? I'm going to put this between KGLW and the Hungry Wolf of Fate. It's pretty good. I don't think it's S, but I think it has a pretty high spot still. All right, Self-Immolate. So with Self-Immolate, you can kind of guess that they got to Venus and things maybe didn't go as planned, and they go insane. And you can kind of paint a picture with the song title for what happens to them. Great energy here. I love the lyrics as well. Some of the best on the album. Love the gang vocals. Very 80s thrash metal. Very chaotic instrumentals that mirror the lyrical messages of the song. This is a banger. Is it S tier? I don't know. For me, this is a top of A. Hell is the last song on the album, which lyrically is about the crew members being recruited by Satan and his army, where they go and invade Mars, which is where the album title Infest, the Rat's Nest comes from. And instrumentally, this is awesome. I love the galloping rhythm section here, which reminds me of the song The Four Horsemen by Metallica, which makes sense, a song about the apocalypse being inspired by a song about the apocalypse, but that galloping riff does make you picture this band going into war, invading Mars. And yeah, chaotic, fast, aggressive playing, which help represent the lyrics. And the second half just goes into this really, really heavy riff. Great song. For me, definitely S tier. I would put this after Venusian 1. Last but not least, Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, or Dawn of Eternal Night, an annihilation of planet Earth and the beginning of merciless damnation. That is how you name a record. Amazing title there. Okay, so I love this album. I really do. The production is fantastic. The songwriting is great. It's such a step up from Rat's Nest. Nothing about this is repetitive to me, and every time I return to this album, I pick up new parts that I didn't notice before, and it's just so entertaining. Very progressive. I wouldn't really call this thrash metal. It's more of just like progressive metal. And let's get into the track list. Motor Spirit opens the record. Amazing opener here, and establishes the tone and atmosphere of this album really well. Paints humanity as, a cult worshiping fossil fuels. A lot of Mad Max themes as well. His vocal deliveries are great on here for a 9-minute song. Doesn't waste a second. Extremely heavy playing. Great riffage. For me, this is going S tier after hell. Amazing way to kick off the record. Supercell. Love the chorus. Love the instrumentals about these supercell storms and how destructive they are in this apocalyptic landscape. Love the echoing gang vocals here. And just some of my favorite lyrics ever by King Gizzard. Love the momentum of this track as well. For me, we're talking top of S tier with Supercell. Awesome stuff. Great energy. And that chorus is so memorable. Supercell. Oh, it's so good. I love this one. I'm glad to have heard it live. Converge is the third song on the record. Really great, energetic start that goes into this bouncy rhythm section. I love how Stu and Ambi trade vocals here. Some cool dynamics. I really like a lot of the parts on this song, and that middle section is incredible. It does remind me of Tool a little bit, and yeah, the end riff is so great. The riff near the end, which mimics the vocal melody, which mirror each other, and it's just fantastic. One of my favorite songs on the record. Converge for me is it's an S tier song, and I think I'm going to put this right behind Supercell. All right, now the song Witchcraft, which is about humans trying to stop the apocalyptic storms through witchcraft, which goes horribly wrong, which we'll talk about on the next song, which also maybe is a metaphor for humans trying to reverse our climate when it's too late and they're doing whatever they possibly can to fix the world. But the instrumentals themselves are fantastic here. Some really great polyrhythms and just some very unique melodies. And I think a really solid song on the record, especially with the amazing dynamics on this one. I'm going to put this S tier right after Venusian 1. Okay, now we're down to the last three songs, and let's get into Gila Monster. This is pretty simplistic instrumentally compared to the rest, but very good. Heavy riffage, catchy chorus, amazing bars from Ambrose. That's right, bars. Amazing licks. Such a solid single as well. I believe this was the first single they released for this record. Heavy outro section as well. And yeah, the witchcraft resulted in a Gila monster, a giant Gila monster, which ate all the witches and is causing havoc on Earth. Just insane stuff here. And the lyrics on this album are just a lot of fun. And the song is just a good time. Just a great time. And I would put this is an S tier song, I think, easily. And for me, it's going right after Mars for the Rich. All right, folks, this is the one. This is it. Here it is, Dragon. The Gila monster has become a dragon now. Don't ask any questions. That's all you need to know. Dragon is, without a doubt, one of the greatest songs King Gizzard ever wrote. 10-minute prog epic, amazing, crushing, brutal riffage, amazing lyrics as well. You know shit is serious when they start doing verses in Latin. That's all I need to know. That says enough for me. One of the best. One of the best of the best here. Yeah, top of S tier. That's what I'm talking about. Top of S tier. Best song. Best metal song by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. All right, now let's end this thing with the song Flamethrower, about the destruction caused by the dragon. You get some extremely aggressive, chuggy riffage right away. Very catchy chorus as well. Ends with some synth and chants, which mirror the song Motor Spirit. The chants are Motor Spirit. And it brings this album full circle. Very cool. I'm not crazy about the end synth section, which pretty much foreshadows the next record, Silver Cord, which I do really like that album. But yeah, it's good. I feel like the end section kind of does bring it down. And I kind of wish that was its own song, you know, because the energy just goes from like, 100 to 0. And I don't know, it's just too much of a whiplash for me. So for me, I'm going to put this at A tier after Superbug. Well, there you have it, folks. Every single metal King Gizzard song ranked. That was a lot of fun. I love these records. I love this band as well. Over 25 records. There's so much material. But their metal stuff really does stand out to me. A lot of great stuff. If you're into metal and you don't know this band and you don't know any of these songs, please check out Petro. Just such a solid record. If you're into thrash metal, check out Rat's Nest. Some great stuff here. Very great stuff. Let me know in the comments what your top 3 metal King Gizzard songs are. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and check me out on Patreon as well. Again, this has been a ton of fun. I love this band. I always love talking about them and their metal records. I'm Brandon Battick, and this has been Disturbing the Priest.
It's death! I've just seen death!